3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Ahoy, friends. It's me, Dave Landau. After a long night on stage, I like to kick back with a captain's hat and a fine cigar and watch the Dennis and Andy show. These guys are huge nerds, but they're the kind that you actually want to hang out with. Enjoy them. I do.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy show. It is Wednesday. We're at 3:30 because once again my daughter works till 5 and I have to pick her up. But who knows? We might make it at this time permanently because it seems to be working for people. Michael Paterzo dropped in at 9 a.m. just to say Orville review. Got my attention. Hopefully he's watching live. If not, catch a replay.
Because we will be talking Orville.
Val's screaming at us. We want to know what Andy's next book is. You will. Be patient, my son. Will you mention Kenobi? Yes, we will be talking about that. And why is the sound so muffled? I don't know. Let me check something here. Let me look at settings real quick. It shouldn't be. What's it say for the mic? Oh, that's why. Hold on. Oh, that's weird. It should be my... do you see...
No, your ice mic's gone.
No, it's not.
Oh, blue.
Blue, baby, blue. How's that? Let me know. Is the sound better now?
That's weird. It defaulted to a different one.
I'll back up a little bit. Welcome to the Dennis and Andy show. So how's the sound now?
Well, Scooby-Doo beginning. Now it's better.
Now it's better. There you go. So for some odd reason, I had an update to my computer last night, which I did do, and it defaulted back. So there you go.
And as we were just talking, I had mine did too, and now a bunch of things aren't working. I love it when Microsoft does their updates. All that means is what won't work today.
Exactly.
But we've got 4 different things that we're going to cover at least today. We are going to talk about the Orville because, hey, it's probably the best of the best. The Boys, Season 3 has kicked off.
Boys.
Oh, yeah.
The Boys.
We went and saw Jurassic World Domination. And then, yes, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is this even Star Wars?
Well, I got my hat on this way. You go, the Boys! Yo, what's up? We gonna talk about the Boys with you down in this house. Bringing the house of pain.
Yes, it is painful watching Kenobi. But we'll get to that towards the end.
That's right. So first and foremost, the Orville is back after, I want to say, almost a 2-year hiatus.
Yes, they wound up getting a deal on Hulu.
Well, man, I can't believe Fox bounced them. That really surprised me.
Their ratings were actually fairly solid. Fox was going through some interesting stuff, and then Hulu's like, look, we'll pick you up, we'll give you guys a budget, because he's really, through season 1 and 2, he turned it from a really campy Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy kind of comic stuff into a really good sci-fi show, and Hulu saw that and gave them full reign with a nice budget for shows.
Well, season 1, I liked it, but even through the progression of season 1, or through season 1, you could see the progression, because when the show first started, it's like he didn't know what he wanted to do. It's like, am I doing a Sparity Poof comedy?
Right.
You know, spoof comedy of these space shows. And that's kind of what it felt like, which wasn't a turnoff, but it was like, eh. But then it kind of morphed into this, you know what? Let's just go really, instead of situational comedy, we can have some comedy in the dialogue, not the situations, but the storylines will be dramatic. And like in anything dramatic, there's always going to be some comedic stuff. I mean, look, we've been to funerals before. Hell, at my dad's funeral, my brother and I both said a few words, and I cracked some jokes at it. You know,
Yep.
I mean, so you can do that, and that's what Orville's become, and I think it's really cool. Hyper Kaiju's in the house. Hello, Orville is the new Star Trek. It totally
It is.
It is 100% is. It's better than. Well, only Dennis can say this, but I'll say it because I don't watch it. But I believe it's better than any Star Trek stuff CBS Plus has been doing.
I have been watching, and I haven't talked about it yet. I am up to speed with all of the Strange New Worlds, which has some ups and downs, but it's the best that CBS has put out. That's not a very high bar because Discovery was garbage, Picard was lower than garbage. Again, with out of all the episodes, what was it, 9 episodes long? They had about 5 to 10 minutes of really worthy story. It's just crap. So this, however, I agree completely. This storyline, season 1 was comedic and it got serious. They introduced the Kaylon in season 2. It's the big war, kind of like the Borg. And it was still a bit of a parody, but they started really getting serious. And they really hit it off great with episodes 1 and 2. Episode 1 dealing with suicide. What an absolutely thing. Isaac commits suicide and the ramifications, the pros and the cons. What an absolutely hard-hitting, and they did it with heart and feeling and good thoughts. I mean, what a great way to kick off this season. It really was.
I think the way they did it with Isaac was really a smart move because, one, you got the ramifications of suicide and all that, but unlike if a person does it, there's no do-over. They were able to get a do-over with Isaac. So you still... Because when it happened, when he did that, I got to be honest, I was like, maybe he's off the show. I mean, that's one hell of a way to kick off a season.
Right.
And it's not like I would have been like, oh, I'm never watching this again. They just, Isaac offed himself. So you really had that going on, and then they flipped it around, found a way to bring him back, so you could see the ramifications left behind when somebody does that, and what it does to people and stuff, and, once again, bring the character back. So I thought that was really cool.
Yep, and, episode 2, again, another great topic that they went into. Basically, whenever you see, like, a red shirt, oh, it's an admiral. So we get introduced to the admiral. Oh, he's going to be like a red shirt. Well, he doesn't die, but he does go through a great transformation, which leads into a really interesting episode.
It was a great creature design. So there are spoilers, obviously,
and all of this, so
and all this
just
stuff.
Be aware.
In episode 2, like Dennis said, they introduced the Admiral. The Admiral used to have a relationship with the doctor on the ship, whose name is escaping me.
Dr. Clearfin.
That's right. They used to be in a relationship a long time ago, before she had kids. So they worked out this deal with these aliens who are the what? What aliens did they work the deal out with to go into this part of their space?
Oh, not the Kraylons. It's the
I always forget the
Krylons.
Guys, you know me. I forget everything. I forget the names of stuff, but I remember like plot stuff. So anyhow, they worked this deal out with this alien race to basically be able to explore this area of space. And they come across this weird ship or whatever. Now, I will say, if I have one complaint, or not complaint, but critique, is when they went on board, there's this really cool looking, whacked out, organic alien ship. And they hail it, and there's no response back. So the captain and a few others decide to board the ship and look around. And just the fact that they're like, oh, well, oxygen, we can breathe. So we don't need to protect ourselves at all. I thought was a little, really? You're going into someplace. Yes, you can breathe, but maybe you want to protect yourself a little bit more?
I don't know.
Now, if they did do that, the story wouldn't advance, because it was because of that the spore let out this stuff into the Admiral's face that caused his transformation, and he basically spread it to other crew members and stuff, maybe 5 in total. But the designs were really freaking cool.
It was. And speaking of designs, you see on the screen, so that's the Orville, which is a cruiser. And in the beginning of the first episode, you get flashbacks of the war from the end of season 2. And it's just, the special effects are fantastic.
Oh, they upped the game.
Big time. And so it looks great. We get to see some real up close. We get to see them walking around on the top of the ship of the Orville and removing actually hull plating and stuff and working underneath of it. They go through great stuff like Star Trek did, a lot of the nerdy stuff where they start talking about the quantum drive and how they've upped it, the percentage increase, and the fact that Isaac is helping them boost their game so that this little cruiser now is the equivalent of probably like a heavy cruiser.
Wait, you talking about this one in the foreground right here?
Yeah, that's kind of like a heavy cruiser.
Well, wait, is this
That's the Orville. That's the Orville.
They both are.
Well, that's...
No, wait. What's this big one?
That is kind of like a heavy cruiser / battleship.
Oh, and this is the Orville. Okay.
All of their designs. So the one thing that this show is, unlike Star Trek, they have very few design differentials. Even their new little fighter pilot and everything.
Well, that's what I was. See if you could find that. That'd be kind of cool to show.
Yeah, I couldn't find a picture of it.
Because in the first episode of the new season, they do introduce, the way I described it to Dennis, this cool little one-man fighter ship, kind of like, one of our military jets. And once again, it's like this smaller one-man version of the Orville, same design sense. And I was like, that is badass looking.
So one thing that I've noticed, and you can kind of tell by that, all of their ships are designed. There's not like a big differential in their ship designs. Their quantum drive, they've got the bottom, the top, and the middle section. And when they go to quantum drive, you can see it. The bottom lights up and goes from left to the right, and then it goes to the middle, and then it goes to the top. Yeah. And once all three are powered up, it goes. So they haven't explained exactly how their technology works, but it's cool. All of their ships are basically designed, even the little fighter looks like it, but instead of 3, it's got 2 of the propulsion units that are in it. So while there's not a lot of, like I said, differential in there, it is cool. We've got something that works. We're good at it, and our entire fleet's going to look like that. So be it. So, like I said, for a Trekkie, that's a bit hard for me because I love all the different configurations. But this actually makes perfect sense. Just like in our Navy, our aircraft carriers all basically look the same.
Right, there's little modifications, but in general, it's the same with the jets.
Right.
All the jets basically look the same. But
Hyperguide says it's the Delta Flyer, which it really is. It is very much like like a one-man Delta Flyer. But the thing that I love about the Orville, why it's the best Star Trek on TV, which is what I've been saying for a while. See, it does. I agree. Is they sit there and focus on all the characters. It isn't one or two Ed Mercer, the captain, obviously he's involved with all of them, but you get personal story in him. Kelly Grayson, you get personal story. Dr. Finn, her kids, Isaac, Gordy. Well, they all have their own.
They all get almost equal standing. It's not like it's the Orville, the Seth MacFarlane show, and it's all about him as the captain.
Yes,
and Adriana as the co-captain. Like you said, they do give them their own space to live and breathe and to evolve, which is nice. And I make fun of Star Trek and stuff. I've seen obviously the original Star Trek. I've seen, the latest incarnations movie-wise. So, I have enough knowledge to go, this is a very nice love letter to the original Star Trek.
Yes.
Trying to hold true to what that original Star Trek did compared to what I hear about the new Star Trek stuff they're doing.
It is very much in line with, say, The Next Generation. Is this the actual new Star Trek show, or is this a show?
No, it's the Orville. It has nothing to do with Star Trek. It's just in that vein of Star Trek, more than, say, Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that.
And it was supposed to be a parody of Star Trek because it's Seth MacFarlane, and he got permission. He wanted to do a parody of it. Well, he got actual real writers, unlike Star Trek lately. Discovery has no writing on it. Picard had no writing. This has great sci-fi writers, and it really shows. And we do need to give one shout-out, and I'll be curious to see how much he did. Norm Macdonald, rest his soul, rest in peace. You know, he plays Yaphet, and I'll be curious to see how much he was able to film while he was here. But, you know, it was great being able to hear his voice.
Yeah, like you summed it up. It's a spiritual successor, which is a perfect way to say it. And yes, this is the one that had Norm Macdonald in it, voice-wise.
Yes.
So you should definitely check it out. It's on Hulu. Hulu, actually, maybe they'll do it again this year, but I never subscribed to Hulu. And on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving last year, if you signed up, you got it for 99 cents a month for the year. And it's the level where you don't have live TV, and even with the stuff like this that, drops weekly, there are commercials that you have to deal with. Not as many as on a network show, but for 99 cents a month, I ain't complaining. So,
yes,
there you go.
Yeah,
Or you
there you go. There you go. I'm just going to say that the Orville is great. On our CGC rating, for the first 2 episodes for this season, I'm giving it a 9.0. There is almost nothing I would change. They've upped their game in special effects. Their stories have been great. Every character on there you like. They even replaced the security girl, Talia. She took over from the girl from season 1.
Which is so sad because the girl from season 1 took a Fox show that got canceled after 2 years.
I know, and she could have come back. She should have just stayed.
She should have stayed.
Every character is great. It's so enjoyable to see. So I'm giving it a 9.0. I absolutely love this show. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up.
And I'm going to give it a 8.5. Which isn't far off. I'm just, it's only 2 episodes in. They're really good, but let's see the rest of the season. And it drops on Thursday nights. Now, on to The Boys, yo. Boys, season 3.
Also season 3 of this.
Yep, just dropped. The Amazon Prime does it a little different. They dropped the first 3 episodes, and now it's dropping on Fridays once a week. Or 1 episode a week for, I don't know, maybe 8. I can't imagine it's just 6. It's got to be 8 or 10 or probably says if you...
It won't say down here, but I can go find out if you want to just talk.
Yeah. So it starts off, Huey is working, I think with a branch of, is it the FBI or CIA? Or is it a totally different thing?
It's different.
Oh, it's totally different. Never mind.
8.
So there's 8 episodes, so we're halfway through the season. So Huey's working with a government agency. One of the women that he works with, you found out last season, is the one that has the powers to basically make people explode or make things explode, I guess. It's just not people.
Yeah.
Of course, Homelander is still a dick. Even more of a dick this time around. And
especially now that his girlfriend, Stormfront, not much left of her.
Yeah, Stormfront is his girlfriend. Let's just read some comments here. Joe Bernardo says, Picard season 1 and 2 is terrible. Discovery is a discovery of bad Star Trek. Strange New Worlds has potential.
I agree. It does.
Do you feel that Seth has gone on a more serious tone than originally? Oh, totally.
Yes.
I think we, just to backtrack real quick, when Orville first started in season 1, the first 3 or 4 episodes didn't have its footing, and it really, you couldn't tell if he was just trying to make a parody show.
Slapstick humor, a lot of it. It was kind of like Family Guy meets Star Trek.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it was cute, and it was fun, but it wasn't fantastic, but it was good.
Right.
But he figured it out as it progressed. The writers went on there, and they got real writers in there. And they made it work. So yes, it's turned into, it still has humor, but not near the amount of Seth MacFarlane humor that they had at the beginning.
Right. So anyhow, back to The Boys. So needless to say, they still want to take down Homelander. There won't be as many spoilers with this. They still want to take down Homelander. The Deep, their Aquaman type character, he's back on the team.
With some of the best.
Well, he's changed because if you remember in season 2, he kind of almost joined up into this cult. And
where he met his wife.
And it did turn him around from the standpoint of his attitude because he was always this cocky guy and blah, blah, blah. But now he's more humbled and stuff and trying to actually be a good hero. But, every now and then he kind of slips.
Or Homelander kind of pushes him in that direction. They do have one of the best scenes where it involves a squid. There's a couple of good ones.
Is it a squid or an octopus? I thought it was a little octopus.
Octopus, squid.
They're different things. It's an octopus.
It does have ink after he eats it.
Yeah, no, it's an octopus because it has the tentacles, but then it has the big bulbous head like an octopus.
Yes. So. Oh my God, I laughed so hard.
So
Homelander,
oh boy, really? You're coming in here, Hail Andy, and go Pack Go? Stop it!
Why? We encourage participation like that.
Okay. There is a scene. Homelander, the Deep's wife, and Starlight are sitting down to eat, and
he's now wrangled Starlight in as his girlfriend publicly.
No, well, but at this time, Starlight also has become co-captain of the team, which definitely ruffles Homelander's feathers. So they're sitting down to eat, and the food that is delivered to them is all seafood. And the Deep is sitting there, who connects with sea life. So he's not eating and stuff. And then basically Homelander's like, oh, don't worry, we have something special for you. So the Deep kind of perks up like, oh, nice. So they bring it out, and of course it has the chrome lid on it. And they lift the lid up, and it's his little buddy, whose name I can't remember, but it's his buddy the octopus, the small octopus.
From inside of his tank.
From inside his tank. And Homelander's basically, and it's alive. And it's looking at him with these sad eyes, and Homelander's like, come on, go ahead, eat it. And his wife, the Deep's wife, is texting him like, eat the damn thing. And
his phone is like sitting right next to him, and he can see her, and she's telling him what to say, and eat it. And he's like, no. He's sitting there, and he winds up putting it in his mouth. He goes, no. He's begging for his life.
Yeah.
He's praying. He's actually praying.
And then as he eats it, the black ink from the octopus just oozes down his mouth and stuff. It is hilarious. The Boys is my favorite live action superhero stuff. Yeah, dude.
Yes,
it is awesome.
It is.
He's begging for his life. He was. And you're right. It's great. I don't mind. I understand why Marvel isn't going to go this over the top with like blood and guts and stuff. And I think there's probably a happy in between that they could do, but I understand that, if they want to keep everything PG-13. Whereas the Boys, they're like, no, this is R-rated. We don't care.
Yep. They got temporary V, so they get superpowers. So both Carl Urban Butcher and Huey all get, they wind up taking temporary V and accidentally he puts his hand right through him and guts explode and everything that. It's so great. It's just so great. And he's naked, so he almost teleports out of his clothes. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, they made this temporary V, which lasts for 24 hours. They made a whole fake website for the adult toys in the latest episode. No way! That is awesome. Yeah, the latest episode. What's the character's name? Kimiko? I can't remember.
I always call her Kimiko, but it is Kimiko. It is
Kimiko. So Kimiko, who is played by the same actress that played oh my god, in Suicide Squad. Why am I blanking on her name in Suicide Squad now? She was from The Outsiders, which is Katana.
Katana.
She played Katana in Suicide Squad. So basically, two characters that don't talk.
Yes.
She's really pretty. I love Asians. My wife knows that. She's very attractive, and in this, she's more cute. But she has to go on this mission where she's basically playing a whore, and she's decked out in this really nice dress, short dress, low cut, and she goes into this guy's, the Russian guy's place, and he's got all these other women in there as well. And he ends up killing the guy pretty graphically by shoving a dildo through his head.
Oh, a lot of different dildos.
A lot.
So, yeah, read Joe's. So, Homelander feels...
That is so true.
That's exactly what my point was going to be, is think of Superman going bad. He admits it. He goes, no, Starlight, you're wrong. You're lying to them. I am the superhero. I am what everybody wants to be. I am who everybody worships. I am the best. I am like God. And you all should do it. And he takes this stand. So what if, like in Brightburn, what if Superman went bad? What would you do? And that's exactly what's going on right now.
All right.
So
Val,
I love Brightburn, by the way.
Yeah, Brightburn was great. All right, Val, you asked. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of her in that dress. Kamiko.
Oh, in the silver dress. She gets out of the van and she starts walking up, and Andy goes, oh, because he watched it just before I did. He goes, take a look at her in the dress. She was stunning.
So let's see if we can find a shot of her in that dress. I'm looking. I'm going to probably say we can't, but you want to see a picture of her where she's attractive. This isn't her in the dress, but this is her. Oh, that's tiny. Damn it. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I have to. Excuse me as I use some technical skills. She's pretty. Hold on. Here we go. Right there. That's the actress that plays her. I think she's pretty.
They had her all dolled up in this very long dress, and I mean, the makeup, everything. She's very pretty.
Yeah. She was wearing something low cut just like this, and showing the girls off. I feel like somewhere Frank Miller watched that episode and was like, "This is what." I wish that's funny. We want to know when there would be a First Man action figure, dude. You know how much action figures cost. Unless somebody has $400,000 to send my way, or even $100,000, that'll be a darn long time. She doesn't need to be in a dress. Oh, what are you saying there? Oh, of course.
See, he spelled it right out.
Yeah, I told you she's cute.
Yeah.
I wouldn't jerk your chain. What's up, Survive Infinity? How are you? Yeah, I wouldn't mess around with you guys. So she looked really good in it. And I got to give the boys a big. I will go out with the boys as a 9-0 for CGC for the first 4 episodes so far. Because they leave you hanging with just enough after an hour, with a great cliffhanger for the next episode. It usually picks up right where the episode before leaves off. I dig it. So I'm giving it a 9-0.
Nice. A-Train, I love. He's trying to do a rebranding right now.
Well, and he can't run really.
Right. Because he's still on his Temp V and stuff like that, because he was using V to try and rehab. They are doing just a great job with each of the characters, filling it in. The son, Homelander's son, is actually developing his powers. Mother, obviously, she kicked it at the end of last season. So they're developing all of the story. It is just so well written and so well put together. I'm actually giving the boys, first 4 episodes, a 9.2. This is an absolute must-watch. My CGC rating, this is near mint minus. It's just right up there.
Isn't that how they've done it every season? I didn't think they dropped them all. I thought this is how Amazon always does it. They always drop a couple and then drop them weekly. I never thought Amazon dumped them all at once. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was usually Netflix.
Impaling the Innocent. I like that. We like to refer to the Innocent by her name, though.
Yes, Christine.
Oh, hey, that's my office assistant. You watch your tone. All right. So moving on to Jurassic World Dominion. Oh,
we went to the theater to see this, and
we went and watched this in the theater, and
Well, let's say it this way. My wife and I watched Jurassic Park beforehand because it's been a while since we really sat down and watched it. We knew that we were going to get Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum back, and thank God for that, because it really makes me appreciate how good the original Jurassic Park.
Yeah, there's going to be spoilers in this.
Not a ton, probably.
Not a ton, but you'll definitely get our sense of where we're at. I'll be honest. It's 2.5 hours long. I thought it felt like it. I thought Justice League, the Snyder Cut, which is 4 hours, felt shorter than this. I almost dozed off at one point during this movie. I love seeing dinosaurs on screen, but I didn't get as much dinosaur on screen action as I wanted. And it just looked like, I'm glad they had their originals come back from 30 years ago, like Dennis said. That was nice. They all got to meet up, kumbaya.
They tied it up in a bow. So if you guys are a fan of the franchise...
It wasn't a pretty bow.
No, it's like me wrapping Christmas presents.
Right.
I suck at wrapping, and when I try and do the little zip threads and make them curly, it never works out. That's kind of the way this felt. They at least tried to wrap it up. So the issue with this movie, and we can talk a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah.
The issue with this movie is you basically, in my mind... It was two separate movies, and they basically said, here's the original Cruise movie, and here's what their point is. Here's the second crew, Chris Pratt's group, and here's the second movie in there with the clone girl from
and they just so happened to meet up.
Yep, and they both were they literally are going down. We keep going back and forth, back and forth. You get some of their story.
And they get closer to, it's like a V. They start off at the top of the V, and as the story moves, both stories finally come together for the third act. But I wasn't impressed.
I will tell you that I actually felt like it was two separate film directors and photographers, because there were parts you're like, oh my God, that is so stunning and beautiful. And then we cut and you're like, it's hacked apart scenery. And I'm like, wow, is this the same movie? Oh, that's really cool. Wow, this really sucks. It was literally like they filmed two completely separate things, and they said, how are we going to do it? It's kind of like Simon and Garfunkel. When they did Scarborough Fair, and then they took Canicle, and then they put them together. That was beauteous, harmonious. This one, they kind of went, slapped it all together, threw it down. They said, okay. It definitely had good moments to it, but it definitely had contrived moments. The biggest thing that you knew from the trailer was all the dinosaurs are freely roaming the earth.
Right. Well,
so because of that, the entire mystique of Jurassic Park is now removed. And
well,
to me, it completely rips it out.
There was just okay, so the best part for me was Bryce Dallas Howard. Not because of her acting chops, because she's not a bad actress, because she's very pretty. I like redheads. She has stunning blue crystal eyes, and her rack is to behold. So that was nice when she was on screen. The bad is, I do not think Bryce Dallas Howard can outrun a velociraptor, but she did.
Because she's a redhead and she's cute. So
and
of course
I also
she can.
don't think Chris Pratt on a horse is going to be able to sling a rope and wrangle a dinosaur. I don't give a crap that he's on the horse. That dinosaur would have yanked him right off of that horse. There's no way he was... So, I mean, and seriously, if you're going to have us suspend disbelief, which that's what these movies do, to go, oh yeah, there's dinosaurs in the real world, it should have been 3 or 4 guys along with Chris Pratt wrangling, because I could have bought that. Like, yes. If there were 3 other guys on horseback and this would have been like, wow, they're all really good at, wrangling.
Yeah.
But it would have been more believable, all 4 of them latching onto it, and taking him down than just Chris Pratt on a horse.
Yep.
And there were just other things in it that I was just like, oh my God.
The coexistence
seriously?
of, the birds and the pterodactyls, and, you get to see some of it, the stuff in the ones in the water and the ones in the air. It had, like I said, some good moments and some bad moments. It was good to see the dinosaurs because a lot of the CG and stuff was solid. You've got your new Apex, which is better than what the Tyrannosaurus Rex is again. But we'll just click over before we read some of the things. The next one. This was kind of cool. So
yeah, I mean, that was cool.
This
Everybody
was the nostalgia moment.
It was. Everybody in the theater. And I was right there with them like, yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. That's obviously the Jurassic Park symbol.
And as soon as you see it in the movie, you know what's coming. I mean, obviously this was not a surprise. But it had its good moments. We had watched the first one and we realized how incredibly gorgeous and cute Laura Dern was back in the first movie and stuff like that. And obviously they've aged. Sam Neill still looks amazingly well. Yeah, Jeff looked pretty decent. So
Joe says, did you hear that if Emily Blunt doesn't become the Invisible Girl, that Bryce Dallas Howard will take the role?
I had not heard that.
I would love that. We know what she looks like as a blonde from her playing Gwen Stacy, which is more white than blonde hair.
She's got the beautiful eyes.
She has the beautiful eyes. I think she'd be a fantastic Invisible Girl. I vote for her over Emily Blunt.
I would too, actually.
Yeah. So
not that I dislike Emily. It's just when I picture Sue Storm, I absolutely would be right there.
So back to this. If it was the first out of 6 Jurassic Park movies, this is the first one that felt too long. I almost fell asleep. Not a good sign.
You wanted to rank them?
I was kind of bored. I was waiting for it to end.
The original Jurassic Park is just the best. It's hands down. It is, to me, as close to a perfect movie as you can actually
Well, it's
get.
a movie they went into not going, it's going to be a blockbuster, it's going to be a sequel.
Right.
They just went into it going, let's try it, let's throw it out there. This hasn't really been done in a long time. And there was no sequel plan, and it blew up. So, of course, when a movie does, I get it, it's business. They put out a sequel. Jurassic Park 2 was Jurassic Park 3 was really and then they retired it.
We watched the original Jurassic Park, and then we watched Jurassic Park 2, and
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my God! I realized how bad that movie was, with Vince Vaughn, and after watching that, it was such a bad movie. I'm like, God, I totally remember why. Again, I go back. The original Jurassic Park was fantastic. 3 was really good. I did like the original Lost World. I liked the whole thing with Blue. 5, which was the last one, was all right. This one, I would probably go 1, 3, 4, 6, 5, and then 2. 2 was probably my least favorite. That's how I would rank them.
Yeah, I mean, 2's my least favorite. I'd go 1, 4. 2 would be last. Hell, I don't even know. I didn't rewatch any of them like Dennis did. I know 1, the first Jurassic Park, is still my favorite. But a CGC score on this one, it's not going to be looking good, guys. I'll let Dennis go first.
I'm giving it a 5.5.
Oh, look at that! I thought you were going higher because I was going to say 5.5. That's why I had you go first. Because I'm like, Dennis is going to probably go 6.57. I'll blow his mind with a 5.5, and instead, we both clock in at a 5.5 with this movie.
It was a bit of a mess. If you're a fan of it, you got to watch it because you got to see how they tie it up. They knit it all together, and it has its moments. It's not a complete waste of time, but this needs to be the end of the Jurassic universe.
Well, and I think they wrapped it up that way. I wouldn't be surprised if box office shows that they're like, yeah, we got to put a cap on this. I mean, they could always And I wouldn't care if they did this in a decade, or it's got to be at least 5 years to a decade, if they totally redid Michael Crichton's novel again.
Yep.
Because they can do it now with better, and the effects back then were fantastic for Jurassic Park.
Again, why would you redo something?
Yeah, that's true.
It was almost a perfect movie.
That's true.
So now let's talk about something that's less than perfect.
My
After
teeth?
This. Yeah.
I didn't know my teeth were part of this.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So...
Episode 5. The one before the last one. Dropped this today. My daughter is in love with this show. She loves Hayden Christensen, so she got to see a lot of them in this episode because there was flashback stuff. Which I gotta say, I thought the flashback stuff was pretty cool.
No, they did. It's obvious they're using the de-aging process a little bit on both of them because Hayden, definitely 40-year-old Hayden, but they did do him up where his hair looks the same.
Tail.
They got his Padawan tail.
Ugh, I hate that dumb thing.
Yeah, and but they did have some nice flashback scenes with him and Obi-Wan training with their lightsabers. It was going to be like a little story, a little lesson, and why Anakin always loses, even though he's a more physical and a better lightsaber warrior than what Obi-Wan would be.
It's the whole thinking thing. I mean, it's kind of an old trope, but that's what it is. It's like, you fight more with your fists, not with your brain, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little Leia, she's cute. As cute actress, 10-year-old Leia's cute, nice mannerisms and stuff. But good God, they send her on this little, you could call it mission in this episode, and I'm like, she's 10 years old. Give me a freaking break.
Oh, we're too big to fit in there, so there's only one person that can. Little 10-year-old Leia, who's so smart. I mean, she is the Wesley Crusher of Star Wars, and Wesley Crusher really outgrew his entire. Oh my God! It's just just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, she is kind of obnoxious, but I had a 10-year-old. She's 19 now, my daughter, and when my daughter was 10, she was a little obnoxious too. But she wasn't like, "Oh, Dad, you can't fit in the air duct. I can."
And I know what I'm doing, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Oh, a restraining bolt. Oh, I'm just going to do that and fix everything. And I'm just like, seriously.
We'll talk to the 10-year-old on the same level as however old Obi-Wan is.
Mary Sue Leia.
So, yeah, that's dumb. There's some dumb stuff with Darth Vader that I'm just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Why would you do that? I mean, are we doing spoilers for
this one we're doing spoilers because I don't care. So if you don't want spoilers, tune out or listen to the spoilers and then go watch the show and see if we're right. Because you know what? You guys can always comment down below and let us know your thoughts if we're way off base or if you agree with us or if you find things that we don't.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a big fight with the stormtroopers and then the Inquisitor, who Darth Vader promotes up. What's her name in the show? Reva.
Reva.
So he promotes Reva up to like main Inquisitor or whatever the hell you call it, and she takes the stormtroopers down to where Obi-Wan and Leia are hiding out, and there's this big fight. Laser battles from the guns, some lightsaber action, blah blah blah. Eventually, Obi-Wan turns himself in, and he has a one-on-one conversation with Reva saying, look, you can, I recognize you, whatever, you were, one of the little younglings. We can both take Darth Vader out. So...
Because she realizes that she's been hunting Vader, and that's why she's doing all of this. Because, it doesn't work very well for what they're trying to do. Look, they're in this narrow corridor filled with stormtroopers, laser bolts going everywhere. And we all know the, stormtroopers, how badly they shoot. Seriously, they only hit like 2 people through this entire battle. It was the most, ridiculously bad. I mean, it's like a parody of Star Wars. It's like the A-Team sitting there shooting their guns right in front of you, and all the bullets always hitting right in front of you. It made no sense. No stormtrooper is this bad. Once again, Adira Varma, she's the one who Mrs. Pucci, I always called it from one of the other shows. She did it last week and this week. Oh, I'm just going to knock your helmet and then shoot you both and take you down. She hits another one this week, and I'm like, oh my God. Stormtroopers' armors are the worst, apparently.
I don't understand.
They're worthless.
My daughter is even like, what is with the armor these stormtroopers wear? You think they would make it strong enough so it would deflect a blast from one of their own guns. So then they could be, okay, our guns are pretty powerful. Our armor needs to deflect them at the least. But no! What are you wearing that garbage for if it's not going to protect you at all?
It doesn't do anything except get into the way. Your helmets are always off there and you wind up dying. Basically, if you get the armor, you're dead. And it just goes in. This episode was so full of plot armor. Everything was so contrived in order to get things where they wanted it to go. For Princess Leia, for the Darth Vader. Now, there's a few cool, really, parts to it. After the battle, like Andy said, they're talking to each other with the Force, going through this big blaster door, talking to each other, and he realizes who she is, and yes, we called it. She really was one of the original younglings, and she's upset, and she wants to kill him because she knows who Anakin is. And apparently mentions Anakin by name apparently multiple times and hints at it. And of course, Darth Vader, if I know somebody knows my true identity, what did he say?
He said in a previous episode that windows underwater that couldn't withstand a laser blast.
Right, because we're going to design the windows not to withstand any type of a laser blast. Just terrible writing to get to a point. It's just plot armor.
And then we get to a scene where Darth Vader is told by the what's-her-face Reva that Obi-Wan's inside, and he's like, I want to go get him by myself. So Darth goes in. This big transport ship is about to take off with Obi-Wan and everybody escaping. So Darth uses the Force.
And this was
cool. And he brings the ship down. So you really see how powerful Darth Vader's Force is. I was like...
Probably not as powerful as Rey was when she did it with no training, but yes.
Yes. So that was badass. He brings the whole ship down. And then he uses the Force to rip it open and stuff. And you realize the ship's empty and it's a decoy. And this other ship takes off. And my first thought is...
Right next to it.
And my first thought is, all right, Darth, just whip your hand back and pull that one down. Instead, Darth just looks at it, take off, and fly away. And I'm like, what the hell? Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
You would whip your hand right back up there and be like, I don't think so. Get back down here.
The entire point of this story, if this episode was... Anakin has to win. Vader has to win at all costs. He always has to be proven right. So for him to pull it down, rip it off, and go, shit, there's nobody in there. Oh, there's the other one. Immediately I'd be like, okay, and then grab that one and pull it down. For him not to do that and just to sit there and watch it fly away.
He sat there and he goes...
He would never do that.
He goes, well, they certainly fooled me. Those silly bastards. According to Anna the Star Wars girl, they stole that from Star Wars Disneyland ride. Huh, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yep, Star Killer.
And then the big moment, Reva comes up to take out Darth Vader when, he's not concentrating using the Force, which would have been the perfect time, as Dennis pointed out earlier when we were talking. No, she goes up to him after he's not concentrating really hard. He senses her. They get into a lightsaber fight. And then once again, he runs her through with the lightsaber right in the midsection. And every other time that happens to somebody in Star Wars, they're just dead immediately. It's like, oh, dead.
All right.
Not her, though.
Nope.
And I'm like, come on. When he ran her through, I was like, oh, she's going to die. That's actually a really smart move. That's a nice swerve because we thought they were just going to use her, build her up, the token. Nope. They kill her. But nope, I'm wrong. She can't die.
She is the Grand Inquisitor now because he did promote her. So
well, not anymore.
Here's the thing that should have happened. She's there to assassinate him, basically. So you do that, pull the first ship down. Here's the second ship taking off. You grab that second ship, and then that's when she pulled him. The moment he pulled that ship down and he's using his force, his hands are up there pulling it down. She should have walked right up to him, put the lightsaber, and then ignited it through him, and then went whoop and just sliced him in half in order to do it. That's what it should have been. That's how the writing should have happened, because nothing else would make sense. She waits till he is now fully concentrating on watching the ship go and going, I guess I'm just going to let him go. Oh, she's behind me. Obviously senses her now and has all the time and stops her lightsaber from swinging. Now here's the cool part. You get to see the lightsaber. She kicks open the second blade like Darth Maul. Yeah. They got a cool, like the Grand Inquisitors do.
Cool fight.
And she's got the cool little spinny, but she doesn't attack with it. She just sits there and spins with it, not utilizing any of the potential for what it would do. Makes no sense whatsoever. He basically splits apart her lightsabers, basically gives her one, and basically says, I'm just going to kick your ass. Boom, 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 does it, runs her through, full, and then says, looking at her eyes, I knew who you were all along, and this whole thing was just a plot to uncover this.
Right.
Bullcrap. Vader would not even tolerate doing this shit. He would have been like, you're a useful idiot for me. Boom, 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 and then he would just force kill her and be done with it.
After he ran her through, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't have just let her crawl away, because we've seen Vader do this stuff before. He's not the type to go, I'll just let her, suffer for the rest of her life. No bullshit. Like you said, when she was on the ground, he would have been like, and this is the final straw. Crick, and cracked her neck and called it a day. Good Lord. But my daughter loves it because she has a big crush on Hayden Christensen, so she's in love with it. Who knows, maybe in a few years she'll rewatch it and be like, wow, this was bad. Lightsabers running through someone will cauterize a single wound away. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It does, but again, he wouldn't just run somebody through it like that and be done. He would make sure you're dead. There's just Vader is not stupid. And here's the worst part about this whole episode. Bail Organa sends him, we'll call it a voicemail, on that little communicator, saying, if I don't hear from you, I'm going to go to Tatooine, and we're going to make sure that the boy is safe, and basically lays out all the information. We're supposed to be protecting Leia and Luke, right? Nobody's supposed to know anything about it, and yet I'm going to leave you a voicemail, basically, intergalactic voicemail for everybody to know, and then he turns around and hands it to the fake Jedi and says, here, protect Leia, in case I don't come back, basically. How stupid is that?
Yeah,
and
why
then
are you
gives
giving
him
it to
the
that
communicator, right, the guy who's not even trustworthy.
He's not a Jedi. The guy from Eternals.
Oh my
the comedian.
God. Oh my God.
Stuber. It's Stuber.
Yes. It made nothing about this made sense. So now, he drops it. Oh, look at that. Is that convenient? She picks it up, gets part of the message. Oh, Obi-Wan's going to Tatooine. He just left me here to die. Guess what's going to happen? So obviously she lives. She's either going to go seek out vengeance in the next episode or season 2, which looks like it's going to happen. And now there's talk that Reva is going to get a spin-off series.
Oh.
If this is the case, put a fork in me. This is the worst damn writing I have seen. And people go, are you just hating on Star Wars because it's not Star Trek? No, because both of them have shitty writing right now. Orville is better than all of this combined. This just sucks. Val says Camille. It is. Camille Najani.
Oh, yeah, Camille Nanjiani. Yep. Oh yeah, and he's a funny actor. Like I said, Stuber.
I love him. I love him as an actor, but
bad
you would not give him. None of this makes sense. Apparently, everybody in the Star Wars universe's IQs have dropped by 50 points since the movies because they all do incredibly stupid stuff all the time. Realistically, it's all just shitty writing. Thank God for Leia. She's the only one that's smarter than everybody else.
That's right. So next week we'll get...
CGC rating.
We will. So next week we'll get the season finale of Obi-Wan on Tatooine. Reva's going to make it there somehow. Darth's going to be there. Maybe it'll be a big three-way fight. Who knows?
Honestly,
I watch it?
Don't
yes,
care.
because I watch it with Courtney and she loves it, and I enjoy spending time watching stuff with my daughter. Yeah, that's true.
And Mel Brooks, when he did Spaceballs, got permission from George Lucas to do a spoof of Star Wars. George only had one thing that he had said to him. You cannot make your character look like Han Solo.
Oh, really?
Yes. So what did he do? He dressed him up as Indiana Jones, if you notice. Lone Star is dressed up like Indiana Jones and not Han Solo, and he fulfilled George Lucas's wish, which is absolutely fantastic, and it is one of my favorite parodies outside of...
Who was the actor that played him?
Bill Pullman.
Oh, that's right, it was Bill Pullman, because John Candy was the Wookiee.
Well, he was, yes. Barf. I'm a Mog, half man, half dog.
Who played
I'm
the,
my
who
own
played
best
the
friend.
Leia character?
Leia, Daphne Zaninga.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and she was hot, so hot in that.
Oh, yeah, well, she was
and
so
Joan
young.
Rivers was the robot.
Who was Luke character?
Well, Luke really was Bill Pullman. Because he was the one who learned the Schwartz.
So Luke was Bill Pullman, not...
Yeah, Rick Moranis was
Pullman,
Dark Helmet. No,
I thought Bill Pullman was the Harrison Ford character.
Well, it technically... That's what he said. Yeah, basically.
That's what I thought.
But he said you can only have, you can't do it after. So anyway, Spaceballs is great, and you've got Spaceballs, and then you've got Galaxy Quest, which I just did a video on, which I will probably link below once this gets done tomorrow.
Did you know that in Mel Brooks? So Mel Brooks likes to appear in every one of his movies, apparently, and in Young Frankenstein, Gene Wilder said, "Oh, I read that the only way Gene would do it, he told Mel, he goes, you can't appear in it.
Oh, I did not know that.
I want this movie to look legitimate, and if you're in it, because it's one of your movies, it won't. So you cannot appear in it." So he did voiceover for something.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Randy Howell, hello. Right when we're about to sign off. Oh,
Randy,
Pizza the Hut.
Go back and watch it then.
I got to go back and rewatch that. Do you have that on your Vudu account?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I own the Mel Brooks collection.
I might have to
Pizza the
show
Hut.
that to Courtney.
And then, remember, they were also releasing Rocky 5,000.
What?
That's from Spaceballs.
Oh, right.
That was the preview. Rocky 5,000.
What's that say? Did you know that Mark Hamill had a contract?
From the first movie that for the life he would get 10% of all Star Wars properties from the profit of every year. Oh, no. Wow. I did not know that.
Well, then, the Werewolf Howls. That's right. It was the Werewolf Howls in Young Frankenstein. I didn't know that either. No wonder Mark Hamill can be such a douche online.
Yes. He's got money.
I can rewatch through the window as I clean the grill. There you go. Because we are signing off. After we give our CGC rating for Obi-Wan, Dennis, are we doing this episode or the whole show? I don't remember.
You know what? Let's just do the episode, and then when we do the final one next week... Oh, it won't be next week. It'll be 2 weeks. Because
Dennis is out of town next week. Oh, I gotta go be
That's
at a
why I'm not
wedding.
going to be at Heroes, and Andy's telling everybody that.
Boo, a wedding. Who cares? Is it one of your kids getting married? No, then it doesn't matter.
He's in the wedding. Leave it alone.
Who cares? Anyhow, CGC rating for this episode, I'll give it I'm probably being a little generous because I will say I don't start picking it apart until we start talking. I'll probably say it's a 6. I'll give it a 6.
I'm giving it a 4.
I knew it. But that's fine.
The writing was so bad. There were so many plot holes and so many things that didn't make sense. I just wanted to scream. I'm like, I can't wait for this to be over. This seriously is my biggest disappointment. I had hopes for this. I really did. This just sucks.
He's right. Heroes over wedding. And Val says, will I do mornings with Andy? Yeah, maybe I'll do that next week. But I can say the week we are back, if I don't do something next week, when we're back on the 29th, Mr. Kenneth Rocafort is going to be our guest to talk a little Groken Volume 2.
I'll try to be alive. I've got my big concert. I get back Monday night. Tuesday night is the big Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett, a Motley Crue concert. So I've got that all night. And then I will make it on. I just don't know what kind of shape I'll be in.
I just can't wait. He hasn't been up that late for something that raucous in forever.
I'm getting old, man. I am getting old.
I know. Which is Mornings with Andy and Shower with Dennis. I mean, if Dennis wants to stream from his shower while I'm on Mornings with Andy,
I'm pretty sure none of you would want
just
to
from
see
here
that.
up. You know, that's fine. Let's see. Groping for Groken. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Groken, Mr. Joan Jett, surprising, still kills it.
She's amazing. I have not seen her in literally forever. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun rocking concert. They postponed it for basically 3 years. So thank you, COVID, for finally being over, and I get to go to it. So yes, it'll be a whirlwind week here.
That's right. Guys, got to go pick up my daughter. Everybody, have a great night, great weekend. We'll talk to you later. And until next time, bye-bye, everybody.
Live long and prosper.